Yo, it's your boy. Welcome to a basic kind of review. First time I'm doing this, trying to take something on. Yo, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fat Man. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Okay, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be real. This is a review of your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, episode 1 and 2. Before this comes out Wednesday of a dubbed out / review. I'm reviewing these as quickly as possible, and I'm kind of going to be reviewing the next couple episodes because I do like Spider-Man. The one reason why I do like Spider-Man is because also these Jordans, I had to restore these bad boys. Some yellowing, that's just going to happen. And shout out to Shamik Moore. Sorry for the bullshit happened to you, my dog. He signed these. So still clean, which is awesome. I've never worn these, and I want to get like bottom protectors to protect this, and hopefully try to get them clean and make them more blue. These, oh man, I love these sneakers, and they're real. They're not fake. I checked. I got fake pair like back over here, like right here. Those are fake pair. So niggas can't come from my neck. Also, I had to buy the box separately. So when I say I like Spider-Man, I mean I like what Spider-Man stands for. You know what I'm saying? 1, I grew up in the Bronx. 2, I've lived around New York City. And 3, Peter Parker is a type of character that you can relate to no matter if his skin changes or not. But roughly, Peter Parker is the plain white dude archetype. Not really. He's just the character. And you're supposed to relate to the character as much as you can. Regardless, Miles Morales, is he relatable? Necessarily no. I did come from a 2-parent household. Miles Morales comes from a 2-parent household. Most black people in New York City, their parents try their best to stay together, or you grew up in a 2-parent household. Depends on who the fuck you are. You living with your cousin, auntie, uncle, grandpa, grandma, right? Spider-Man stands for a whole lot when it comes to being a superhero. But before that, let's just get into the video. So we begin in Queens, where kind of like Spider-Man showed up in Civil War, except it's reverse. We basically wake up with Peter Parker waking up. On his face is basically amazing adult fantasy. I think this is the time Marvel was trying to change to more of the adult size. I don't know why they said amazing adult fantasy, because before it was just amazing fantasy comics. So they changed amazing adult fantasy, which this is issue 14 before Spider-Man appeared in issue 15, where if you have an amazing fantasy 15 comic and you don't want it, sell it to me, because I'm going to keep that shit forever. I ain't never going to sell it. Peter gets ready. He's late for fucking school. Bad Parker luck. Misses the train. Aunt May gives him oatmeal and toast in a bag. And then I think he's going to start eating it after he misses I think he has his powers at this point, but he doesn't. So eventually Aunt May picks him up in her car. And at this point, I realize Uncle Ben is out of the picture. For some reason, Marvel's been doing this lately, and I don't know why. They've just been kind of removing Uncle Ben and just being like, well, Aunt May took care of him. Aunt May should be center of that story. But Uncle Ben was the reason he got up to become Spider-Man in the first place. With amazing power comes amazing responsibility. When he got his powers, Uncle Ben was there. Uncle Ben died. And then he transitioned to be a better hero. At that time, he was going to be a worst hero in general. Now, we don't know what Uncle Ben died from. Let's say cancer or maybe a mugging and someone killed him. Who knows what he died from? Who knows what happened? But as you can see, there's a ring on Aunt May's finger. Also, kind of got to go back to the Queens part when we see the logo. In the back, you see Avengers Tower. So there are Avengers in this world. Guys, we just noticed there's an Iron Man little figure on Aunt May's rear view mirror. So for some reason, I'm like, okay. There seems to be a Norman Osborn in this world. There seems to be an Avengers. And for some particular reason, Uncle Ben is already dead before we get to see him die. Yes, I get it. We don't want to rehash. Bow, bow. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to rehash that out. But at the end of it, it makes sense for story building of this character. You want to make sure to pull the character up to make sure you give him the motivation. Character motivations. We all get the character motivation, but why do we want the character motivation? And we do see that Aunt May has a ring. May has a ring. So she was married to Ben. As it shines, and she kind of glances over it when the light pans up. So yeah. So then we get to Midtown High. when Peter and basic May share a heart-to-heart, and he thanks her for just taking care of her and being there for her, obviously because his parents are no longer around, and he had a structure of like stability where Uncle Ben was there. And Uncle Ben was there, and Peter was cool. But then Ben died eventually. It could be from cancer, a mugging. We don't know what he died from. But we'll just roll in the air. It was a mugging. Something happened, right? And then May wishes that he was around too because that was her fucking husband. And it shows that she's married. On that case, you know, they share a heart-to-heart in the car. Peter gets out the car, is kind of glancing at Midtown High. And we see this same kid with orange hair, and we see some jock with blonde, which I guess is Flash Thompson, but we never get to see Flash Thompson. So this is basically taking aspects of the MCU, but kind of also putting in Norman Osborn, which did not exist in the MCU at all. Because remember, in Spider-Man No Way Home, Norman Osborn says, I went to my house, somebody else was living there, there's no Oscorp, there's no Norman Osborn, my son is in here. Basically, Norman Osborn doesn't exist in the MCU world whatsoever. So yeah, Marvel really didn't figure out how to build these things up. They just introduced what they have and called it a day, I guess. And then a portal opens up. And now I'm thinking a portal's there for a good minute and a fucking symbiotic creature falls out. By symbiotic creature, it says symbiotic creature at the end credits, so they probably didn't give this thing a name or anything to say, oh, symbiotic creature falls out the sky. A fucking Doctor Strange portal falls out the sky. My one problem with this is, I don't like the way they did this, right? They ramping it up to action. I was like, whoa, hold on. Can we just get the feel for this? Can we just get in here, enjoy Spider-Man? I'm getting older. The older I get, I do enjoy, hey, why don't we just rehash the old stories? Because we've been changing the stories over and over again. Can we just rehash it once and for all and call it a day? I want to see one time that Marvel takes the entire Spider-Man, old school Spider-Man comics and makes them animated once, and keeps it that way. They probably already did that with the older Spider-Man, but maybe for a newer generation and changes it, right? They're trying to keep it up to date, but that's been my problem. Doctor Strange falls out the fucking sky with this symbiotic creature and they start brawling. They fuck the school up. I love how he uses his shield and he's like, it's unbreakable. And then the creature's breaking through it. He's like, I'm never using this shit again. And I'm playing Marvel Rivals. And you just blasting Doctor Strange. And that shield is pretty fucking tough. I was like, yo, I hate Doctor Strange, man. When I shot out my cannon, somebody's Doctor Strange said, you. I said, fuck you. In other words, he saves a kid. He's got the cloak. The creature falls through a portal, breaks the school. Doctor Strange can turn back time. He's like, well, we're just going to turn. But Strange says something in the beginning that hopefully I can show this clip. He does say, we're not supposed to be here. He knows exactly where they are, exactly what's happening, which is probably the pivotal moment for when Peter becomes Spider-Man to when, I believe, at some point where, Tony Stark finds him. This seems to be taking place in the MCU, but we never get to see Flash Thompson. We never get to see Ned. We never get to see MJ. We never get to see these people at Midtown High. There's a reason for that, but Peter says Midtown High is an prestige school with the smartest kids, mad technology, all that shit, which is interesting. So Ned, smart dude, obviously, and then MJ or whoever we're gonna get, maybe Harry Osborn, because Harry Osborn was supposed to go to Midtown High, so we get the friendship with those two, which is interesting because I want that friendship to develop in this animated show. Except something's gonna play up with the race of Harry Osborn being Richard, and it's gonna be something stupid's gonna happen. I can feel it in my bones. After Strange tries to stop the creature from destroying the school, succeeds and breaks the school, makes a giant hole in it, Strange gets saved by his cape. The creature itself turns around to the girl we see in the beginning of like the trailers, Miko, I guess her name is. She must have some type of magical aura because the creature turns around and senses a glowing energy off of her. And for some reason picks her up, which I'm like, is he gonna kill her, choke her to death, eat her, what's about to happen? But she's got this energy that she's glowing from other people. So everybody's got this energy. So there's like the 6 kids run it and then there's her. And she has this like exploding type of energy. Don't know if it's from her being damaged or the fact that she made sounds where, they can see that, they can hear that, they can feel that. And the creature goes, I feel like I know you for some particular reason, which is interesting to the behavior of this symbiotic bug, because it looks like a bug, I ain't gonna lie. The entire time this happens, a spider was popped out the portal, and it was not the same spider that was radioactive spider that happened in a lab that Peter got bitten by. This spider somehow was coming out the portal, right? So we don't know where Doctor Strange came from. We don't know what's happening here. And I don't want to hear, well, it's a multiverse thing. And obviously he's from the past and the dimension. Because they don't know who Doctor Strange is. Because the moment he said, it's a weird wizard guy, they don't know who Doctor Strange is in this world. So this hasn't established Stephen Strange yet as a Sorcerer Supreme. This is somewhere in their timeline, I believe. So Strange might have fucked up. Who knows what's happening? But Strange is like, we're not supposed to be here specifically. And probably that time period. Because Strange wasn't established. Because in the MCU world, Doctor Strange is known as a superhero. In this world, he's probably not known as a superhero. He's probably known as that kooky dude that be walking down the street all weird. Because in other comics, they made Doctor Strange much, much weirder than he is. Which is kind of cool. I like that shit. I kind of fuck with that type of energy. Eventually, Peter saves Miko. He about to die by the creature. Strange comes in, wraps it up. He's out of there. Spider falls, and eventually, as he talks to the girl, it bites him. Then we see the spider crawl to someone else's backpack, crawl up the backpack, and we see a white hand pick up the backpack and walk away with the spider on it, hopefully to bite someone else. Because last time I remember it, the spider was set free. Other people are talking about this can set up Miles Morales, this could set up Silk. I don't care about Silk. I don't care about Miles Morales right now. I kind of want us to stay focused here with Peter Parker and how long they're going to do this. Because this is your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Before, this was supposed to be called like Spider-Man freshman year, something like that, right? We're taking up the mantle of just staying with Peter for the moment, right? Growing Parker's story, growing stories of friends around him. I kind of want this to be contained, and I don't want Miles Morales right now. I don't want Silk. I don't want none of these characters right now. Because the moment we get Peter, everybody just like, cool, let's bring this guy in, let's bring this guy. Stop it. Stop. Yeah, niggas be wilding the fuck out, right? So we get a few weeks fast forward, and Parker basically, it's the same thing, routine. It's now he's got webs, right? Because once the spider bit him, he knocked him out. Now I want to know what happened to that spider that lashed on that kid's backpack. Is that kid, whoever gets bitten, going to become a spider hero? Maybe we'll find out. Who knows? Hopefully kills it before it does that. Peter does the same routine, except this time he's got spider powers and he gets hit by a car. But he got spider powers. He's swinging through the streets, and then he comes upon Harry Osborn, the Black Osborn. Some bullshit. So basically, these kids are trying to rob the dude, and eventually Peter beats him up. Bang, bang, boom, boom, bah. Hit one dude with the brick. Boom, type of shit I'm on you wouldn't understand. Next thing you fucking know, someone in the comment section of the live video when Peter does peace, someone says L plus ratio, and if you look underneath it, one of them is called Screwball. For a lot of y'all out there that don't know who Screwball is, she's a really shitting weird character that's like an online sensation type of crazy nut job. Screwball literally is one of those characters that is online tech savvy. And she's in the comment section. If you guys want to see better content, check out my channel. She's shouting herself out on this dude's channel, which is also, I hear, is bad to do as a content creator. It's like, don't do that. It's good for another creator to shout you out so people can go over there and flood your channel. But the most insane, effed up part is they're probably going to set Screwball up because she's a wild fucking character. I kind of liked her in the Insomniac Spider-Man game, but I wanted more of that character. I kind of wanted it to be an arc where she does go a little mental, does go a little insane. She has a hard time really dealing with the fame of the internet. She's that type of character. But when Peter beats these guys up, Harry's like, I don't got any liquid on me, cash. But it really don't really matter. He's like, I'm not doing it for the cash. I'm out. And he swings off. And he's out that bitch. Comes to school late, big deal. He bumps into Miko and then bumps into the girl he likes, which the girl he likes looks pretty okay. Like, oh, she's cute, I guess. All right, go Pete. But it finds out that's his babysitter. So we don't really get the Flash Thompson. We don't get the Harry Osborn or Ned. We get the Miko's your friend. I was like, okay, cool. We get your girl's the friend. But she's the one that irks him on to get to talking to her. When Peter's in class, he's drawing the first Spider-Man mock-up suit ever. The first one that we get. Now, this is the first one that he should get before he premieres. Because when Spider-Man premiered his first suit, mostly like in a wrestling match against like Crusher Creel. And then after that wrestling match, he created his first brand new suit. That's mostly from the movies, but also in the comics as well. First suit came up, boom shakalaka, he was up. But Peter sees something going down. He tries to stop these guys. They're robbing a van or robbing something. But before he does stop these dudes and adjust his web blasters, there's a moment on the bus when the bus is about to get hit. Kind of like take it from the MCU where he saves all these people. There's a moment on the bus where you see a guy with glasses and kind of white. For a second, it gave me Stan Lee vibes. But also, I thought of Steve Ditko. I know they both wore glasses back in the days, but it gave me a Steve Ditko, Stan Lee vibe from this guy. And we get to see him outside of the bus taking a picture of Peter saving that bus, which I was like, my name Parker, good for you. Afterwards, him and Lonnie Lincoln team up because Lonnie was into his girl. And I'm okay with Lonnie Lincoln, but Lonnie Lincoln, I kind of think I don't care for his character because I wanted to see Tombstone. I wanted to see the badass dude that was already doing crazy shit when Peter Parker was already in high school, right? But they're taking it as like, well, this is how Lonnie Lincoln becomes Tombstone because of the gangs and the crazy part on his block. And eventually they talk, they pal it out, and Lonnie was told that Peter's pretty smart from his girl that Peter likes. And Pearl is Peter's babysitter. He liked her for some fucking reason. I'm like, cool, Peter, he's a babysitter. Then now Pearl's with Lonnie Lincoln, aka soon-to-be Tombstone. Now we flash forward to Lonnie getting some advice and walking home. Lonnie gets the New York nigga walking home fucking track. We get to see him walk home and we get to see the trash part of New York. For some reason, he's sitting on the train and a lady and her kid, but the lady is like, nah, come on, looks at the kid like racist bitch like they're supposed to be. I was like, that wouldn't really happen if it's an open seat. Sit on the open seat unless you want to sit and put your purse somewhere. That's different. She was probably like, nah, let's not sit here because it's cramped. Let's go find another seat. There's probably are open seats. They really need to make these scenes crowded. I don't know who animated this, but New York is a little more packed. You need to do that. Like, you're pissing me off as a New Yorker. So I got to be honest here. It's probably a dead day. It's the afternoon, so he's probably out. So Lonnie gets home. Some niggas broke into some shit. You hear over the radio some robberies are happening. Lonnie comes from a two-parent household with his younger brother. His dad's like, yo, check out your younger brother's work. And his mom is like, yo, Lonnie. Lonnie basically is taking care of his family. And at this point, holding up, trying to do everything around the house to save $1, to save a bill. Because he lives on 125th. If some of y'all don't know 125th, bitch, that's Harlem. Lonnie lives in motherfucking Harlem. Which Harlem can be pretty like tough. Like you gotta be tough to live in Harlem. Live in the Bronx. Live anywhere out there. That's just is what it is. 125th, nigga, that's Harlem. Going the rest is the Bronx, okay? Going uptown, Bronx. Going back downtown, that's Manhattan all the way to Brooklyn up to Queens. You going uptown, that's Bronx, and then further up is upstate New York. After that, ain't nothing. I'm gonna be real with you. Lonnie's doing everything he can to save his family $1. So the Daily Bugle has Spider-Man's first photo that Peter Parker took and sent it in. But it's not taken by Peter Parker. Not sure who took it. Probably Eddie Brock. But it says, Spider Vigilante sightings on the rise. Basically, he's a vigilante at this point, which he is. But the sightings are starting to pop up more and more on who he is, right? Now, I'm not sure in this MCU property if the Avengers are ever going to do their Civil War. But, you know, there is an Iron Man and there is a Captain America by some of the screenshots that we've seen. The biggest thing that happens, I think almost close to the end before we reach a Norman Osborn, spoiler, right, is that Spider-Man knocks on a pizza store door and gives back the money. Now, the pizza dude in the store is happy that the money's been brought back. But the lady says something to the point of, I lost my job recently, I didn't know what to do, and I just took it. Like, that's gonna hold you down. But on the pizza dude's fucking window, he has a help wanted sign. Bitch, you just lost your job. Hey, I need a job badly. I'll do anything. I'll help out. Any job at a pizza spot anywhere is perfect. Because if you were in this pizza joint and you just stole money from them, you could have saw the help. You didn't see that the now hiring help wanted sign. It says, obviously, it says cooking/kitchen staff. Whatever that means, you can learn how to make a fucking pizza. You could be taught. She fucking robbed them, which I'm like, that sign wasn't just up fucking earlier today. It was up the whole fucking day, and she went in there and stole money. Which I was like, huh? Bitch, you gotta go to jail. I'm like, that's so stupid. But in the honesty, I would just tell her, like, look, why would you steal from me? I have a help wanted sign. You could have made some money. You lost your job. Why steal from a community fucking shop, a restaurant, pizza place? Like, the fuck is wrong with you, stupid bitch? But she's over here crying and whining, and Spider-Man's like, hey man, she's not gonna do it again, she stole. And I swear to you that the black dude goes, should I let her, do you want to let her go? Spider-Man says, do you want to let her go? The black dude goes, He does one of those. He does Nah, I want this bitch to go to jail. She stole from me, but sure, let her go. The moment he lets her go, he says, hey, please don't make me regret this. She goes, I won't, I promise. I won't do it again. And she runs off. And he's like, hey, man, Spider-Man. Peter goes, hey, man, I feel like this was the wrong, she made a mistake, And the shop guy goes, sure, I don't know about that, but hey, thanks for getting money back. Basically, in black people's terms, whatever you say, bruh, whatever. Honestly, I won't let her go. You know what I'm saying? But if she does it again, she's going right to jail. But she could just say, she could go back to the shop and say, hey, look, I saw you had a help wanted sign. I'm willing to work for you. I'm sorry I stole from you, but I'm going to put in the time to earn your trust. Boom shakalaka. Call it a day. You lost your job. Here's one right here. It's not going to pay the same, but you could always work here during the mornings and then at afternoon shifts, go do something else. Come on, bro. It's not that hard to think on your feet when you're living in New York. It don't get that hard. It really don't. There's too many ways to make $1. Shop owner gives Spider-Man some free pie. He bounces, and next thing you know, he finds, what is it? Like a VCR, like a DVD player. And then he bumps into, in his house, they kind of do the scene by scene of Peter just walking in and then seeing what should be Tony Stark, but he sees Norman Osborn. End of episode 1. Now we're in episode 2, and Osborn is like, Peter, you're so gifted, you're so this, and this, right? So they talk about I remember when May talked about Uncle Ben, and this is the image, she's still wearing the ring, which is on her left side, which means May was married to Uncle Ben. She's May Parker, or Mrs., I don't fucking know, whatever her, Benjamin, Ben Parker, whatever the fuck last name is, right? She's married to Uncle Ben. He's dead. Obviously, she still wears the ring because that was her late great husband, or he left her high and dry. Don't know what happened to Uncle Ben. So Norman Osborn basically replaces Tony Stark in this moment. But it's for an internship. I'm guessing since Midtown High got destroyed, Norman Osborn has been seeking all those kids. Eventually, Peter is excited. He's getting paid. He tells Liz, I think not Liz, what's her name? Lucci, whatever the girl's name is, right? He's talking to his friend at a sports game. Before he gets there, the school, he basically stops the villain, beats that dude's butt, swings the school, and now somehow they're cacaing in the hallway, which is the funniest shit in the world. Peter is like, what are you guys doing? Oh yeah, we're just doing this as a ritual. No, we got a big game, stupid! And they just, Lonnie introduces him to all the boys. After that, Peter rubs a trophy for some good luck because he's got an internship at Oscorp. Want no one to understand this. Norman Osborn is a dick. Norman Osborn has gotten some shit. And Miko, Peter's friend, basically says, look, no one gets that big and powerful without doing some scummy shit like Norman Osborn, which we all know. I heard his voice. I'm Norman Osborn. Hey, I'm Peter. I'm going to fuck you in the Like, I'm not going to lie to you. Norman Osborn's that type of dude that was just fucked up type of person. So I see what she's talking about. And then she mentions Roxxon, which if though you have watched Cloak and Dagger, Roxxon was the reason Cloak and Dagger got their powers through, basically in the comics is through some type of mutated crack or whatever the fuck. Who knows? That's how they got their abilities, born with it or not, right? So Roxxon was mentioned here. Peter goes, well, joking with her, but then his crush, Pearl, comes over like, hey, Peter, I heard you got an internship at Oscorp, Daddy. And he's like, yeah, and, May told me that's pretty grown up, saying, yeah, he's trying to steal Lonnie's girl. Like, yeah, I'll pipe you, Pearl. I'll show you how grown I am now. But number one, these are young kids. But these are young teens. But you got to admit, though, Peter's like, yo, I gotta go to Oscorp. I can't be late. And she's like, yo, just stay for the game. I know how this is gonna end. I'm out. He's late. He basically ends up meeting someone named Jean, which is from like the Long Island. So he meets some girl from Wakanda, Amadeus Cho, which is from the Lower East Side, and then he meets Jean, which is from Long Island. He meets all these people, and they're introduced to the teachers in this moment. Peter gets to Oscorp after leaving the game. He's late. Shit happens. After he was introduced to everybody, he gets with Dr. Whitman. Now, some of you don't know who Dr. Whitman is. He's the wizard. The wizard basically can use technology to create magic. You know how everybody, like, you have to learn the energy of, like, magic and how to, like, Doctor Strange and all that shit? The wizard is using technology to actually harness the power of magic. He's a cool-ass character. I thought he was, like, named the wizard because he could predict things, but it's Bentley Whitman. He's Dr. Whitman, but in here it's Bentley Whitman, which is his whole name. Doctor, he just goes by doctor because he has a doctorate. Cool, right? Basically, that's who Dr. Whitman is. He's a dick. I'm not gonna lie. This man is a dick. So, after everybody gets placed and they're waiting, Peter's like, I gotta go see Norman Osborn. He told me to come to his spot and meet him. And you know what happened? Everyone just thinks he's joking because that's a cap. Norman Osborn didn't just come to you for nothing. So the one thing I have is, why the fuck would you tell me to rise up to the challenge and come see you when no one believes me? Nigga, like, this makes no sense. You should have gave me a code or something. Like, I need to go straight to your office. I would have been dipped to go straight to his office. Like, yeah, it took me a minute to get past everybody, but I got here. Like, the fuck is we talking about? I have something to say on the precedent of what is happening with this. So everybody gets placed. Amadeus gets placed. Jean gets placed. Even the girl from Wakanda gets placed. I didn't really care about her name. And next thing you know, we get Kara Connors, which is basically supposed to be Kurt Connors, which is Dr. Connors, which is, that's it. And basically the whole missing arm and everything. Like, she got the missing limb. Like, she's like, I'm Kara Connors. And I'm over here like, great. So she's missing the arm. And there's no Kurt Connors. My one problem about gender bends or race swaps or in general stuff like that is, yes, if you keep the spirit of the character, this really cares. Who's Kurt Connors? A guy with a missing arm. Also a guy with a family and a kid. He's more than just the guy with the missing arm. Peter respected Kurt Connors, respected his brain, his intellect, and cared about the guy. And Kurt Connors was just trying to get back his missing arm to feel like a whole person again. Because it's hard to do something with one fucking arm, which is your dominant hand. He has to be better at writing. She has to be, you know what I'm saying? To replace a character's struggle is fine. To replace them with a female just shows, we don't really need Kurt Connors. Let's just get in the girl. But then somebody online, I really had a weird back and forth with this dude online. Like, I had a whole back and forth. And I'm going to be honest, I don't care for the gender bends and switches. Sometimes I just want to see something created to the way it was already presented. Because people are like, oh, why you want to see the same thing? It's not about seeing the same thing. It's how that thing is projected across storytelling. You could show the same damn thing, but if you can tell a different story with these characters, that is fine. With those characters, not changing Kurt Connors from male to female just because, oh, it's a good idea and who cares and whatever the fuck. Huh? What are we talking about? What the fuck are we talking about? Oh, but this was made at a different time where New York City is more... New York City was getting diverse. New York City has always been diverse, okay? The Italians came over. The Chinese came over. Asians came over. Fucking the Irish came over. Everyone came over to New York City at this time. So New York City became more diverse and was getting to that point. Now, to show a diverse New York is to show what it is to be diverse, right? You don't got to throw in diversity. Not everywhere is a diverse collective of fucking people. New York has more whites than blacks. There's blacks than there's whites. In Harlem, you're going to probably see more black people than you're going to see white people. It just is the truth. 100%. You're going to see Spanish, black. You're going to see a little bit of white, but probably somewhere else. And that's probably it. It is what it is. There's some parts that you just don't see a lot of white people. I definitely don't see them in the Bronx as much. Unless, you know, an area is being gentrified. Is what it is. After Peter's done with Connors, he goes to the break room and take a fucking break, and then they realize there's something on fire. This building's on fire. Peter's like, I like fire. So they're just like, he's like, leave it. And they're like, why? just because why not? I like the news. It was like, I like to know what's happening on the news. Like, there could be people in there. Someone might have died. Don't know. And just hold on. And then he basically bounces. And then I forgot the Wakandan girl's like, I go hide the matches. I did like that one scene. But for some reason, let's wrap it up, right? Peter gets there and the dude is like, I'm setting things on fire. He's like, I've been paid to destroy this joint. There's going to be a new high rise of 52nd Street. And Peter goes, you're on 51st, right? He was like, what the fuck you mean I'm on 51st? This man's on 11th Avenue and 51st Street, on West 51st. I'm like, yo, bro, you stupid. Fuck this place anyway. I'm burning it down. But in reality, that's probably going to be bad too, because he was paid to burn it down by the owners. Peter kicks this dude out the window. His break is already over, so he's dumb late. He fucks the guy up, saves a cute dog, some fish, and a hamster. So I almost get eaten by a snake, which is interesting. I do love how that happens. And the best part about it is, after Peter doesn't know his actual strength, so when he kicks the guy out, he's still figuring out that he has super strength. Spider-Man has mad power in his fists. Like, Spider-Man, in all reality, holds back a lot of strength. If Peter wanted to, one day, boom, he can basically pop the skulls, all of his enemies, off of their fucking domes. He doesn't. So he just like, hey, if you can take it, cool. I'm going to give you a certain percentage of an ass beating. So if Parker beats them up enough, he knows he can hold back. Eventually, after fighting the dude inside of the place, the guy turns his gauntlets up to the max level. So now he has blue flames. But Peter's like, I don't got time for this. Bow! Brings down the shit, saves the fishes. And then eventually he's like, are you out cold? Hey, I got a knockout. Dude gets back up. Bang! He goes, yeet! Knocks him out. Cold, and next thing you know, it's up. Except now he gets back and he's like, I was in the bathroom, so my bad. And then Connor's lied for him, which makes Connor looks bad. But then he's like called by Norman Osborn, which Norman eventually, Peter's like, fuck. He's got to go to Norman Osborn's office, which he was supposed to go to when he got there. Don't know why it took me getting in trouble or something happening. But Norman called for Peter, which Norman seen the security camera footage of Peter changing in Oscorp fucking tower. And next thing you knew, this motherfucker himself, because they have obviously cameras in the staircase, unlike most buildings, this motherfucker, next thing you fucking knew, was caught by Osborn. So now Norman Osborn knows that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. So this was a good episode. Honestly, Lonnie Lincoln, and the best part about it too was Lonnie Lincoln was like, yo, is that Parker? He's my good luck charm. Parker! Kimiko, the fucking Asian girl, she was kind of invited out with Peter to the party, but since she was by herself, Parker wasn't really done with work, and then he got called in superhero business. So once again, coming with Spider-Man is you have to balance two different lives. He has to balance school life, he has to balance working at Oscorp, and now being a hero with Osborn and his social life. So that in itself becomes a mix-up. And once Peter is in that mix-up of energy, it becomes a pain in the ass. And in itself, Kimiko was probably pissed because, damn, Peter, like, I needed you here. I was by myself alone. Like, bro, you ditched me? It's like, no, I got a fucking internship and I was trying to get to you. And then something else came up. Eventually, she'll probably know that he is Spider-Man, or he'll tell her, like, but the one thing about having the secret of Spider-Man is nobody gets to know. That's kind of why I like it in the Spider-Man, the animated series from like the 1990. It was beautiful because Peter Parker didn't tell everybody his secret. He only kept it to himself, and us, the audience, only knew what was going on. And I love that. I love that because unlike the Spider-Man MCU movies, Ned knew, MJ knew, Tony Stark knew. I like it when no one really knows who's under the mask because it keeps that nigga safe. It does. Think about it. Without everybody knowing who he is, the mask, the identity, it becomes a pain in the ass. I definitely don't trust Norman Osborn. The way he was like, so you're Spider-Man? In other words, you the nigga ruining my shit? But in reality, he probably wants to say, you saved my son, and I appreciate you. Because Harry Osborn right now is out there just having fun, which I don't know if Peter Parker has put two and two together, but His friend shows up on the television. The guy he saved shows up on TV. I think Harry Osborn is some type of celebrity, some type of like, you know, rich, famous boy, billionaire, kid, son bullshit. But this is him embracing, I guess, the money. But in the comics, it was usually, in a lot of animated stuff, it's harder for Harry Osborn to get ahead because of his dad's riches, because he's under his dad's thumb, because there's a legacy there. There's so much. And I wish in the comics they kind of take Harry Osborn and they move him to a better story. I kind of wish they do that. You know, he kind of takes back the Osborn names, takes back everything, becomes a superhero using the technology. I want to see stuff like that. I want to see Harry Osborn become better, because why the fuck not? In itself, I can say, is your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man a watch? Yeah, technically it's a watch. Should you watch it? Do I recommend it? Honestly, I do recommend it. No matter, I don't like the race swaps, the gender swaps, none of that shit. I really don't care. But in reality, that's just my opinion. I don't have to like it. I like to voice my shit because this is my channel, bitch. But in reality, these swaps may not mean nothing. But to me, I'm like, I kind of want to see this because I feel like I haven't seen it in a while. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to watch the Spider-Man other stuff that's past because they're not getting new iterations. I don't want to watch the movies. I wanted to watch the new, bring back the old. That's it. Because it's important for me growing up as just a comic book fan, comic book head, comic book person that grew up with these, watching the cartoons and stuff without like the internet at a certain point. Now where the internet is everywhere, I can look up who these guys are. I don't know who the Pyromaniac dude is. I'm just gonna call him Flame for now until we can find a fucking name. But other than that, personally, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, for me, gets a solid 6.5. So let me know. These first 2 episodes were good. Let me know what you think in the comments, what you think of the first 2 episodes. This is your boy Fat Man. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, be notified. And if you like my review, stay tuned for more. Peace, and I'm out.
Shit.
Getting on drum. You little niggas gonna stop acting like my shit ain't the grill.
Where's the last
Some of
one?
you niggas get your front teeth for grills. And I ain't talking about the contract.
Ain't loving these fake hoes. Room smelling like 8 switches. Room service like 2K. NBA, I'm ballin', nigga. All them niggas fallin' like all them niggas. Talking shit, I saw them niggas. Now they daughter want a picture. Rough, ain't it? Fuck famous.
Yeah, man.
Niggas too real, got the most haters. Wrote a story, so Stephen Curry. How it feel to be golden?